Well, I'm just letting you know
Yeah.
that I'm not doing anything, and he's sitting right here. I'm looking at him,
Okay.
he's
I just see
looking at you, and you haven't done anything.
I just see me. That's
I
all I
don't. Well,
see.
then
Me.
you need to move your phone around or something. But we can see you.
Move my
We
phone
got you.
around.
I don't know. I'm just saying we see you. I don't know why you can't see us.
How do you know he sees me?
Okay, Humberto, can you see Rick?
Yes, I do.
Okay, he came on and went out. He
okay,
came
but
on and went out.
the only person who's having that problem is you. So let's roll,
I
do like you
think you
did.
have to go
We
to.
are
Okay, he's there
we're on
now. He's
YouTube.
there.
We're on the air, Rick. Go ahead. You're on YouTube.
He's there.
Go. Start.
He went out. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Rick Young. Another segment of What's in Your Hand on 95.9 FM, GACR. And also, you can also catch us at jwjcr.nyc 95.9. And my very special guest today is Humberto Romero-Gonzalez. How are you doing today, Humberto?
Good. I'm getting ready to head up upstate. I'm taking a little vacation from work and just gathering my thoughts. So I'm gonna take a trip to the Catskills and maybe come back during the weekend.
Yeah, well, so okay, so man, I'm a little jealous now. I wish I was taking a vacation. I need a vacation right about now.
It wasn't optional. My job made me take a vacation.
Oh, I need that kind of jobs that make me take vacations. Wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome. So today's show, this is a special edition show. This show wasn't planned, scheduled. It was a special edition show because I wanted to share how we met, our story. So I thought that was very interesting, and I'm calling this story the Good Deeds story, the Good
Mhm.
Deeds.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll tell my part, you tell your part, and we bring it together, and now we have this a show. But just for your information, I'm always looking for a good show.
Yes. So go
I'm
ahead.
always looking for a good show. So let me just start off by saying I was going home. I was on the 104 bus, and I saw this lady that I know on the bus. I'm sitting all the way in the back, and she's in the front on the other side of the plastic. They put plastic there now to separate so people won't get close to the bus driver. Only people that are handicapped. So I went up to her, and she's on the other side of the plastic. I says to her, I says, "How do you get to Carnegie Hall? How do you get to Carnegie Hall?" She was stunned for a second, and then she remembered. George Carlin, I don't know if you know who he is. Do you know who George Carlin is?
No.
He's a
Explain.
comedian. He passed away a few years ago, but he was a very funny comedian, and he just lived in that neighborhood, like Teeman Place, somewhere around there, somewhere one block west of Broadway. He
Mhm.
lived somewhere over there. So he started out the show, how do you get to Carnegie Hall? He was asking people on the street. She was one of them. And and then they show him on the stage doing his comedy show. Very funny guy. So I asked her, how do you get to Carnegie Hall? And
Mhm.
I think I did that to her before. So she was stunned. She didn't, she didn't think, she's not thinking about Carnegie Hall. And then she was stunned, I could see. And then she looked, then she's like, oh, yeah. So she remembered. She remembered me because I asked her before. So we started talking, hey, how's the family? How you doing? Right? So we're riding down Broadway, and then I got on the bus on 125th and 125th in Amsterdam.
Mhm.
It turns on Broadway. The bus goes down Broadway, 104. So 110th Street, we almost hit a car. A car cut in front of the bus, and he made a hard stop. Bam, hard stop. And I almost like I had to hold on real tight. So I said, I went back. I went to the back where I was sitting at first, my back seat. So uh, a lot of people got on the bus on 110th Street, and one of the guys I knew, and he was a radio. He was a radio. Can you see me?
Yes, yes. Go ahead.
I kind of messed up there.
Your picture is on, but I can hear you well.
Okay, let me get my picture back. Okay, there we go. So this guy, Peter Noel is his name. He was a radio, TV guy. He was on TV. He was on the radio. And so we're talking. I'm saying, hey, this guy's a legend. He's the TV, he's the legend, radio legend. And he's like being, humble about it. And so I'm standing there on the bus near the back door, and he says, "Oh, is this yours?" I says, "No, it's not mine." So he gave it to me. The check. I'm looking at the check. I'm like, "No, it's not mine." So I get off on 106 and Broadway. So I go knock on the door. I says, "Hey, driver, I found this check on the bus. He won't take it." He put his hands up like this. He said, "There's a dispatcher right there, because the 60 bus starts there." So I went over there. Said, "Hey, dispatcher, they got white shirts." So I guess the dispatchers, big deal. So it says, "Yeah, I found this on the bus. He won't take it." I said, "Oh man." Now I'm like stuck with this check, trying to figure out what to do. So you want to come in and tell your part now?
Yes. So I went to I'm just switching dorms really. I was renting an off-campus bedroom, and
You're switching what?
I was renting a bedroom outside of Columbia's campus.
Yeah.
And so I switched apartments. I'm switching to Columbia dorms now, and I went to pick up my deposit from the last place. So I put a check in my pocket, and I decided to take the bus on 124th, and took the bus, got off by 113th, got home, and I had a bag with me, and I start checking my pockets, like where's the check? Like, no way. And then I started checking my bag, and the check wasn't there neither. And I started panicking. I started feeling like I really need this money. Like, I no, there's no way I lost the check. And I called my landlord, and I told him, I think I just lost the check. Can you please call the bank and cancel the check? And he said, I don't think I can cancel it. And I almost like pooped my pants, to be honest. I said, like, I really need this money. I cannot afford to lose my deposit right now. And so I insisted, and I told him, please try calling the bank, try canceling that check. I really need the money. And then he said, please just check your bag again, check your pockets. I checked everything again, nothing. I told him I definitely dropped the check somewhere. I don't know where. Then I called him back, and then I told him, like, please really try canceling that check. And there you had me anguish.
You said like, what?
You had me really worried. I was worried. Yeah. I was like scared. I just lost my $900 check. And so he told me, like, I'm gonna try, don't worry about it. Just like let me handle this later, he said. And I think I took a little nap when I got up, and I took my phone and I looked at it, and I had a voicemail from my landlord. He said in the voicemail that a strange man was going to call me because he found my check. He said, don't ignore the number, just pick up the call and answer. And then I checked a second voicemail, and it was Rick. There you were, Rick. You left me a voicemail letting me know that you found my check, and you asked me to call you back. So I felt really grateful. It was hard for me to believe that someone found the check, and I couldn't put it together at first. Like, how did you figure this out? How did you find my landlord's number? How, like you went out of your way to make all this happen. So now you can continue with your part. That's
yeah. So there's a store on 106 in Broadway. So I went in the store because there's a place where there's like a place where people would sit down to eat, but they took the chairs out because they don't want people to stay there now. So I went over there and I started Googling the name on the check. And I got 2 email addresses and a number. So I emailed both the 2 addresses, and then I called the number. I didn't get an answer. And so I said, okay, so I went home. So I take the crosstown bus, the 116 bus across. So I got home and I called again. He picked up. I was like, oh, he picked up. And he said, oh, it's your check. It's Humberto's check. So he said, you should call him. Let me give you his number. I said, okay, let me write it down. I wrote the number down and I called. I didn't get an answer.
Right.
Okay. So I think I waited. I think I called back. I called again. I think you called me. You didn't get me. But I think so I called you again like a little bit later and you picked up. I was like, oh, wow, you picked up. And then we said, we're trying to figure out, because I was doing some things. I was in the middle of some stuff. So we're figuring out how we're going to meet, where and how we're going to meet. So you pick it up from there.
Yeah, so I was really grateful.
Well, let me ask you, what did you think? Because I kind of gave you my address and we're trying to figure out where we're going to meet. What are you thinking at this point? Like, you don't know this guy, and how am I going to meet this guy? Like, what were you thinking?
I think I instantly just knew that for you to go out of your way to find the person and give the check back, it really showed a lot about your character. It showed a lot about your integrity and your good heart. So at that moment, I knew that I was dealing with someone who had good intentions. So I didn't feel hesitant. If you wanted me to come to your house, I was going to come to your house. Wherever you were willing to whatever place you wanted to meet in, I was willing to go there. I just knew that so far you took the time to find the person and give it back. So I felt really grateful. I had a good feeling this whole time. And I was just really wondering, like, I don't think the landlord's number wasn't the check. I just kept trying to figure it out. Like, how did you find out? But you explained that you Googled the number, but that shows that you really went out of your way to really find this person and say, here's your check.
I have to say, Google is amazing. Google, because I was looking, you know, and I found it. And then we finally talked. We finally got a chance to talk to one another. And so now we're trying to figure out to make arrangements. And I knew that I was going to be going back that way. I knew that I was going to be going back that way.
Yeah.
And I knew that I wanted to stop to the store. Because at first I was thinking a good place would be, because you're a Columbia University student, I was thinking about maybe the booth on 116th Street where the security is. That's a safe place. I know I want you to feel safe. I don't want you to be worried about anything. So that's a good place. But then I was like, I wanted to stop to the store, the West Side Market. I wanted to get some stuff. So trying to I'm going back and forth because I had a lot of conversations at that booth with security. I used to teach boxing at Columbia. I taught boxing there for 11 years. I ran a boxing program there. So that I know the area very well. I spent a lot of time over there. The officer, whoever's at the booth, I'm cool with them. You know, we were talking for hours, you know, talking. So then I thought, you know what? I'm going to go to the store. West Side Market is cool. It's a good space. And I said, West Side Market. And then you take it from there, West Side, after West Side Market.
Yeah, so...
The meeting place.
Yeah, so I went to the meeting place, right? The West Side Market. And I got there, and then another man gets there, and I see that he's approaching people, and I thought maybe that's him, and he's asking for me. He's like, are you Humberto? And then I approach him and then I say, hello, my name is Humberto. Nice to meet you. And he gives me his hand. He's like, nice to meet you. Do you have something to eat? He tells me. And I'm like, oh, I don't think this is him. And then I told him, you know what? At that point, I offered you dinner. And you said you were doing it out of kindness to give me my check back. And
Yeah.
politely decline my dinner offer.
Yeah.
So I told this man, you know what? Look, give me a second. Someone is coming to give me something. I got you. And when you got there, we did a transaction on cameras, on light, on a safe place. And then I took the check. I walked inside. I bought this man a drink and something to eat. I knew that at that point it was. I believe in a divine plan. I believe in a divine purpose, and I think that God knew my need, your need, the need of that man, and He worked it out to provide. And it just felt really smooth, like it was meant to happen. Like it was just like something extraordinary.
What did you buy for him? What did you buy for him to eat?
I bought him a sandwich and water bottle. A bottle of water. Bottle of water. And then I told the man, I hope that this is enough for tonight. And he said that yeah, that it was good. And I said, okay, so I said,
Man, you mean to tell me I could have had a sandwich? I could have had a sandwich? Oh man. Wow. So I went and bought what I bought, but I'm not gonna tell what I bought because it wasn't too healthy. Ice cream and some cookies. Bad for me, but that's what I went to get. That was on my mind. But I should have took the sandwich.
mm-hmm.
The other thing that I thought is I should have taken a picture. We should have taken a picture in that moment, and I didn't think about that. So I was like, oh man, we should have took a picture.
Yeah, but we're here now.
But I was really surprised when you said you thought he was me. I was like, what? I thought that was kind of funny.
I just got there. He wasn't there when I got there. I got there and I was standing right on the side. And then he got there and he approached somebody. And I was looking at him from behind. So I couldn't see his face. And I saw that he approached the next right person. And then I said, maybe that's him asking for me, because the two people that he approached were males. And then I said, maybe he thinks that I'm these people. So I got close and then I said, hi, my name is Humberto, nice to meet you. And he said, nice to meet you. Do you have something to eat? I was just like, oh, like at that point, I didn't think he was a person in need as far as like needing food or homeless or whatever the case was. But I didn't notice that he was someone on the streets struggling and asking for food. I didn't notice that at first. I was looking at the man from behind and approaching people. So I thought maybe that's him trying to find me. Like this man is really trying.
Yeah.
So I approached him. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm inside the store. The guy, I'm always talking to people all the time. So I'm talking to the guy that works in the store. I was telling him what happened. Because to be honest, I'm gonna just make a confession. I was so proud of me for that, and it really wasn't a big deal, but it was a big deal because I said this is an opportunity for me to share something with people that maybe might make them feel better, make them feel good, or make them want to go and do something for someone. That's the feeling. I guess that's what I was thinking about. So I told him about it, the guy that worked in the store, and then when I came out, I'm looking like, I'm looking for you, and then you were talking to him, the other guy outside.
Mm-hmm.
And what made you think that was me? Because I was looking, you saw me when I came out the store.
I just read your body language. It seemed like you were looking for someone, and then I looked at you, and then you say Humberto, and then,
Oh, okay.
and
And
then
then
I
I brought you in the
looked
store to show you the guy. Say, hey, this is the guy right here.
is that Humberto? You said, is that
Yeah,
Humberto? And
yeah.
like talking about good deeds, might not be a big deal for some people, might not be a big deal for us at times, but it only takes that one action of kindness to change somebody's perspective in life. And it's just like the domino effect. Like you do something nice for someone, and that someone does something nice for someone, and that someone does something nice for someone, and it goes on. And something that we talked about is that throughout my years, I had a mentor, and one of the things that he shared with me, I call that a nugget of knowledge that he just like threw at me, and I took it and I ran with it. He said it when you do the right thing happens to you. And you were telling me over the phone you must have done something good. That's why something good is happening to you. And I said, I don't doubt it. I said, I strongly believe in that. When you do the right thing happens to you. And it only takes that one action of kindness for someone. And I'm not here to brag about the good things that I do or the good things that I've done. I think that's between, in my personal belief, God and me. And the good things that you do are between you and God. But it just goes to show people that when we do something nice for someone, it just doesn't change someone's perspective. It just doesn't impact one life. We don't know how many hundreds or thousands of lives we're really impacting by that one decision we just made. Sometimes just opening the door for somebody, right? That's one of the nicest things that we might not notice, but like it really makes our day sometimes. At least for me, when I'm having a rough day and then someone says something nice or does something nice for me, it just reminds me, like, this just make me feel good right now. It just takes someone doing something nice for you. So that day, what you did, it really, really just like brought me back. It
So,
was, I was just really grateful to be honest.
so is it better to do good deeds, do good to help people, stay quiet and keep it with God, or is it good to share with people so that maybe they might get inspired? Say, you know what? Wow, that felt nice hearing that story. I want to go do something to help somebody. Which one do you think? What do you think is best?
I think that right there in that instance, there's an opportunity to look into your motives and see if what you want to do out of the situation is to spread the goodness of it, right? Because one thing is to like brag about the good things you do, and one thing is to want to share the good news. So let people know that this really fulfills your soul and that this really gives you purpose. If I were in your position and I had to return the check, and knowing that I just made an impact in this person's life, I would want to share and tell friends and family members. I just found a check. I could have go cash it, but I just called the man and I'm giving it back, and he's grateful. He's, like witnessing someone feeling good because someone is doing something nice for them. It's
Yeah.
what life is about. And I personally came to my roommate and I told, dude, earlier I told my roommate, I lost my check. I was really upset. And then I came back to him again and I told him, dude, someone called me to give me the check back. And I was joyous. um,
What did
so
your roommate say when you told him that? What did he say?
he was shocked. He said, really? I said, yes, like somebody in New York City found that check and called and trying to give it back. Someone in New York City. And
Yeah.
yeah, so I think that sharing the news about something good, it's about sharing the joy. And I don't see anything wrong in what you did in sharing. I think that you mean good, because it's just, what were the odds that you were gonna find me, right? What were the odds that you were going to Google the right person, or that that person was not gonna be someone who possibly tried to get the check and do something with it, right? So all these odds that we went against to just do something good for one another, it was just the working miracle.
Yeah.
So going back to good deeds, right? That's the topic of this chat. Um, what goes around comes around. And I do believe that something good is going to happen to you, and what you have done is going to be paid, is going to be paid back to you twice as much, because whatever you believe in, whether it's God
You're
or
tuned
a
in
higher
to
being,
G8CR.NYC, Grant Houses Community Radio.
what's that?
That's Tina Dixon. She was doing the station ID. They do it every half an hour.
Okay.
The other thing is that, ironically, who could have planned this? That I grew up in this neighborhood, over there by Columbia, and I wound up teaching boxing there for 11 years, and you were a Columbia University student. So I think that that's something, special too. That we have that connection, the Columbia University connection.
Yes, that's also really odd that you happen to be a Columbia University former staff and that I'm a student now. I mentioned a little bit about me that throughout the years, what I've been working on has been social justice movements and just fighting
Right.
for social justice. And one of my biggest passions has been working with minority groups and low income, because I belong to those groups. I'm a minority and I'm low income. And having something like this happening really reminds me that we're here for each other, and that only between each other, when we look after each other, we can make the change happen that we want to see. So what you did really brought me back to my human state.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and reminded me that we're here to help each other. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah. 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 That's good. So one of the things that I want to do or wanted to do was share the story with people that I know, care about, people I love, because I want them to say, hey, because maybe they could do something good for someone. Because I ran into this guy, a guy from sort of like my neighborhood, and I told him what happened. He says, oh, did you catch it? And I mean, he was a little drunk, but he would have, a lot of people would have cashed that check or tried to or whatever. Like they see it as, but I saw another opportunity. I saw opportunity to, actually I didn't think about it, it's just a natural reaction. That you should do the right thing. And the right thing is to get that check to its rightful owner.
Mm-hmm.
Because I told the bus driver right away, I said, hey, I found this on the bus. If he would have took it, that would have been that. If the dispatcher would have took it, that would have been that. And then I spoke to a couple of people today, and they were like, oh, you should have just put it in the mail. I didn't think about that. I didn't know you could do that.
Mm-hmm.
Can you just put the check in the mail? I mean, just like that? I mean, how does that work?
I mean, I never lost a check before. This is my first time, and I hope that there's
Yeah.
but I think maybe you could have put it in the mail too. God knows what would have happened after that.
I didn't think about that.
But since you mentioned about the natural inclination of your other friend, I think it's only natural to feel like that sometimes. I can even say I feel like that sometimes too, right? If I find something, maybe I should keep it. because let's not forget that we are a struggling and thriving community that, you know, many of the times we have to work for what we have. Again, I don't come from privilege. I don't come from a background of wealth and affluency. I work hard to be what I'm at, and I'm still working hard to for my education, and that's what I panicked about the check because it's not money that I can afford to just lose. So if somebody feels that you should have cashed the check, we shouldn't judge that. We should just understand that we are a thriving community, and that at times it's hard for us. Because we don't have many advantages that other privileged communities have. So I want to acknowledge that. I wouldn't judge someone's reaction based on wanting to cash the check. But the point and the bottom line is that you wanted to do the right thing and you decided to find the owner, return the check, and give it back. And here we are on a Monday afternoon talking about good deeds and sharing with the community that when we do the right thing happens to us. And maybe sometimes we might not do the right thing. We might struggle in doing what might not be right, but it's okay. We fall and we get up and we keep going. So
Yeah,
we
let me jump in.
each other.
I want to jump in here for a second. You had said something a few minutes ago. You said that you don't come from privilege. I'm going to disagree with you.
Mhm.
You do come from privilege. And why do you come from privilege? Because the Creator has you here on this planet, and it's a privilege for you to be here. It's work for you to do. And when you do that work, it's a privilege. So I understand what you're saying. I know what you're
Yes,
saying.
yes.
I'm flipping it. You do come from privilege because the Creator has you here to do some specific work on this planet. And so that's privilege to me.
I dig it.
Okay.
You're, you're right. You're
Good.
right. Yes. Uh, that kind of privilege I do have because I
That's the
know
only one you
that
need.
I know that I might not have the material things, right, to show up and be like, I have all this, but I do know that I have God's given grace. That I have. And that I don't think there's amount of money that can buy that grace. Uh,
Right.
I was in a
Right.
meeting. I was in a meeting years ago. In it was about social justice and addressing issues in the community. And I got invited, and I was in this meeting with some um, priests, pastors. It was religious leaders, and I remember this man because I like to dress up, you know, to these kind of occasions, show them that I'm serious about what I do. I'm not getting paid; it's volunteer work, but I don't want them to think that I'm just a funny guy trying to like get attention. Like I mean to really work on social justice. And this man tells me, I assure you that the person that has the most money in the bank right now, it's this young man right here, based on what I look. and I and I say, I got up and I told the man, he was a religious leader, and I told him, you're right, because I'm rich in heaven. So you're right. I do have the most money in the bank. In Jesus' name, I took. I took what he said into my reality. The money might not be physically in the bank, but I'm going to believe that it's already there because I believe in a power that is greater than me, that I call God, that will provide for me. And even if I don't see it, I know that it's there for me.
Yeah.
I just want to make it clear that I'm not spreading religion. I'm not trying to preach. I'm not trying to um, just use this opportunity to talk about religion. I think I'm talking about spirituality. And sometimes for me, if I want to find purpose in the things that happen in life, then there's got to be a bigger reason than just the physical. So I consider myself a spiritual person. I do believe in divine purposes. Uh, and all think is just the works of that higher force or higher power or greater being. And I call it God.
So Reverend Humberto, I guess you know, Reverend Humberto, I want to share this message with you. That was a little joke. If it was $900 in cash, I would have, and I had an address, a way to find the person, I would have did the same thing. If it had been cash, I would have done the same thing. So, and one of the reasons why, because it's 100 times more powerful to give it back to you than to even keep it.
Mm-hmm.
See, to keep it is like so small, but to give it back is big compared to, you know, and you never know, like, you really needed it. You know, that's important.
Yes. Thank you for that, because I'm trying to look into myself and really be honest with myself. If I would have found $900, I think I would have struggled. Like, should I give it back or should I keep it? Most likely, I think I would have given it back. And the reason why it's because when I moved to the United States, I was 15 years old. I didn't speak the language, so I learned the language. I graduated high school, and then I went into my own. I was 18 years old, and I wanted to continue college, and I couldn't. I didn't have the means. I didn't have the moral support. Then eventually, time came when I was more mature, more responsible. I was working, and I found the opportunity to go back to college. And it wasn't because suddenly the opportunity presented. It was because someone went out of their way to steer me in the right direction and refer me to the next person that referred me to the next person that took me to the next person to help me to find the resources. And I take pride in saying that I'm the product of that community who looks after each other. And if it wasn't for the support of that community, I wouldn't be where I'm at. And I keep that up front. And I never forget that. I remember there was a Mexican organizer, and I saw her on LinkedIn, and I was interested in the work that she was doing. She was trying to create ESL programs for people that don't speak English and are trying to learn. And at the time, I was working with mixed race, African American, white organizer, and I didn't have a car, so I asked her, I want to meet this other organizer. I think she can be a good part. She can be an asset to our network. Would you take me there? And she took me there. She drove me to the area. It was like an hour away. And I met with this other organizer. And she asked me about me, my story. And I shared my story with her. And I told her that I wanted to go back to college. And then she said, I want to help you. I know this one attorney in this area who can give you some advice about how financial aid works for you and your immigration status. And then I said, okay, I'll take that. Gave me the number, called this person. I went to that person. I met the attorney person, and said, you're gonna go back to your high school and you're gonna talk to your counselor. But that's not what I did. I went to a nonprofit organization and I told them, based on what I learned, I'm eligible for certain programs that can help me to go back to school. And the program was called Independent Living for young people who were living independently, alone and supporting themselves. And that was me. And then I met a social worker, and they said they did like a screen. They asked me questions, and then they said, "Yeah, like we got your back. Like if you want to go back to school." And from there, I went back to school, and it was just people that kept just helping me to find other doors to continue to move forward and just continue to get my education. And today, I really take a lot of pride in that, because if it wasn't for those people, if it wasn't for the organizers, if it wasn't for the nonprofits, if it wasn't for charity, I wouldn't be where I'm at. So I take pride on that. People like you, people that went out of their way, are the people that brought me this far. And God's given grace. Let's not forget that. So again, we don't know that one decision, that one act of kindness, we don't know how that changes someone's life. I don't know if these people from many years ago know what I'm at right now. I lost touch with them, but thanks to them, I'm here. So today, I'm at Columbia University, one of the top schools in America, top schools in the world, and mostly it's an elitist society. But I cannot afford to forget where I come from. I cannot afford to forget the people that brought me this far. So when you ask me to have your this kind of chat on radio, I say yes. I do want to talk about good deeds
Right.
because good deeds is what brought me here so far. Um, so yeah, I don't know if you have anything else to add.
Well, we're almost at the end, but I just like to know, what do you plan to do from here? Like, what's your goals? What do you plan to achieve from here?
After the radio show or Columbia?
No, just what are your goals? What do you plan to do to achieve, with your life?
One of my biggest goals and one of my top goals is start my own nonprofit. Because it's been through nonprofits that I've been working on social justice movements, that I've been accomplishing, that I've been shifting policies, harmful policies that most of the times do not benefit minority groups or low income people. And I think that through nonprofit, it's the way that I see myself creating social justice or bringing social justice to pass. So I do want to create my own nonprofit and work on public policy through my own nonprofit. Also, one of the biggest issues that I have with the current policies in our society right now is that mental health is a real issue that everyone deals with. And it's a big problem in our society, specifically when it comes about the opioid epidemic that we are still facing, but that we went through at its peak since 2009. That was just evident that we were not prepared. We didn't have the tools to approach an epidemic that was literally killing upper class, middle class, lower class. Race didn't matter. People were just dropping dead from the south to the north, from the east to the west. And I was one of those people. So instead of getting help, sometimes we were just thrown into a system and being kept in that system because they didn't know what to do with us, right? So today, if someone is having a crisis, instead of getting the right help to take them through that crisis, a mental health crisis, they get thrown into the criminal justice system, and then their lives become ruined. And then they're not able to look after themselves because now they rely on the system, because that chance to look after themselves was taken away. And that's something that I experience. That's something that I want to work on and improve. It's our safety net, mental health, social justice. And I want to do that through my nonprofit. So when I graduate Columbia, I plan to start my own nonprofit. And after the show, I plan to head up upstate and just take a break in the woods. So that's my goal.
So I just decided that I do want you to do a favor for me to pay me back for doing, giving you the checks back. Is that okay with you?
Sure, go ahead, ask.
You want? Okay. The favor is, I'm going to look through my collection of books. I'm going to pick out one. I'm going to give you the book. But I want you to read it though. I don't know which book I'm going to pick as of right now. I'm going to look. I'm going to pick a book. So I want you to read the book.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say?
I take the challenge or
That's a deal.
Back. Yes.
Okay.
I take the deal.
Okay. All right. I don't know. I got to look and see what I think is. I don't know. I'm going to let the spirit guide me to pick a book and see what happens.
Okay.
All right.
Looking
so
forward.
I want to thank you. Humberto, for coming on today, sharing this. For me, it was an opportunity. That's the way I look at it. I was given an opportunity. So I feel so honored and blessed that happened. So thank you. Thank you for dropping the check.
Thank you.
But don't do it again.
I'll try not to. Well, yeah,
All right.
It was a pleasure being here, and thank you for having me. I look forward to what you have to give me in regards to the book that you're gonna pick from.
Yeah. And the other thing is, one of my favorite movies is Pay It Forward. You ever heard of Pay It Forward? Did you see that movie?
No.
Oh, you got to see that movie, man. Pay It Forward.
Pay It Forward. Let me write that down.
Yeah, it's probably on Netflix. Do you have Netflix?
Oh, I do.
Or YouTube or whatever. It's just, Pay It Forward. One of my favorite movies. Pay It Forward.
Pay It Forward. Okay.
The movie. This little boy, Haley Joel Osment, is in the movie. Helen Hunt, John Bon Jovi, Angie Dickinson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right?
Got it.
Okay, so hopefully I'll be talking to you soon. I'll think about the book. I don't know if I'm going to catch you before you leave, but, we'll see.
I'm sure I'll have internet, so
right.
Call me anytime, yes.
All right. Well, listen, you have a great day. Enjoy your trip in the woods.
Thank you. I'll enjoy it, I'm sure. I'm going to be there.
All right. All right. Talk to you soon.
All right. Take care now.
All right. Do some good deeds.
Thank you. I will.
All right. See you soon.
Bye.
All right.
Hey, Rick, that was a powerful example of paying it forward on your part. And if true to form, the universe is going to reward you. If it hasn't already, you'll be rewarded, just because of the kind of person you are, man. That was a beautiful thing that you did.
Yeah, man.
That was nice.
I feel, well, like I just told him just now, I felt that was given to me opportunity. And a lot of times we have opportunity and we don't see it because it's dressed up as in work clothes. So we miss it.
Got it.
But, who knows, like, that guy might grow up to be some, you don't know.
You don't know.
The president of a country, the president of Mexico,
right.
Who knows?
He could be anybody. He could grow up to be anybody and anything.
Yeah. Now, the book that I'm going to give him, I don't know which one, but I'm going to think about it. And it would be nice if I can catch him before he leaves, because while he's in the woods, it'd be like a real spiritual thing. This whole thing is spiritual.
I heard that. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I said this whole thing is spiritual.
It is.
This whole situation.
I was thinking of Willie Jolly when as I was listening to y'all.
What's that? What part is that?
Just the title of his famous book.
A setback is a setup for a comeback.
Yeah, because I know he thought when he got off that bus and he got home and he started digging around his bag, he ain't had that check. He said, "Uh-oh, setback." Because he needed it.
Yeah.
He didn't know.
Yeah.
He didn't know. He didn't know that you was in there. You was doing the setup for the comeback part. He didn't know that.
But then I would have to thank Peter Noel because he gave the check to me.
Hey man. You know, hey, listen, it went to the right guy.
Yeah, he could have stepped on it, covered it up, picked it up. I would have never known. I wouldn't even think about that.
It was meant to happen. It went to the right guy.
How about that? How about that? Thank you. Yeah. I won't call myself religious, but I'm gonna have to say thank you, God, for giving me the opportunity to do some good work.
So when you talk about motivation and positive thinking, this is a classic example of that.
Right. It's another step closer to, mastering this. I mean, I feel I got a long way to go to mastering the game of.
That's right.
Self-development, personal development, motivation, positivity. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's why your middle name should be motivation.
Well, my middle name.
Excuse me, your professional middle name. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Because my middle initial is W.
Okay.
And I don't know if you ever heard the interview with Robert Kreiner. His middle initial is E. So he calls it enthusiasm.
Correct.
So because of him, I got a W. I said, what I'm going to use the W for? I said, wisdom. I'm seeking wisdom. Yeah.
Hello.
I'm seeking wisdom.
You're a seeker.
And yeah, so this was a part of that wisdom thing.
That was a good feeling. That was a good
piece that happened today.
Good feeling story, man. I was impressed.
So now I want to do a good deed for Doug. How could I do a good deed for Doug Frazier?
You did. You already did it, man. You did it for him.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
Thank you, man.
Now, do you get offended if somebody calls you Douglas?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. Some people get, they're like, hey,
no. No. People call me all kinds of Doug, Dougie, Douglas. Okay. I get a lot of Dougie when I was younger.
Yeah. So I want to finish this up with being I'm talking to you. I just feel like I want to finish up on some basketball, something basketball related. I don't know why I just feel like that, but I know. I was telling Herbert Harris that Kobe Bryant, wrote this letter to the game of basketball. I can't get over that, Doug. That thing, I think that's so special.
Oh,
I don't even have the words for that. I don't have the words.
You talked about it. You were talking about it, I believe, yesterday. Whenever you did the other show,
Herbert Harris, yeah.
Herbert Harris, and today. Because we usually do a show every Mondays at 10 o'clock, as you already know. And while I was waiting for the other people to come on, I played the Kobe Bryant thing just because of you. Yeah, man.
Yeah, basketball.
That was real. Yeah, man, that was real. I thought about, what you had said about him yesterday and what you had and what you have been, how you was telling Herbert about it. And then today I just went on there, man, and I looked for that thing, man. I played that joker. I played that thing.
So here's the thing I forgot to say to Herbert Harris that I picked up while talking to Robert Kreiner is that imagine you step on the basketball court like a Michael or like a Kobe, and you know that you can't be stopped. How powerful is that? You know you can't be stopped. How powerful is that, Doug?
I would think that most professional caliber players think like that. You know what I mean? You think that when you get out there that they're going to say, all right, we're not going to let you do A and B. We're going to make you do C and D. And you go, okay, I'll just kill you in the C and D. They might say, hey, we're going to game plan so you only get 12 or 13 points. And you'll be going, well, after you see what they're trying to do, you'll be going, okay, I'm going to get 20. You know what I mean?
Well, that's not what I'm getting, because I'm getting that Michael and Kobe were different. I hear what you're saying about everybody else.
Yeah.
I'm saying
everybody think like that. They actually were the top. I got you.
You're tuned in to GHCR, Grant Houses Community Radio, the soul of the Upper West Side.
And it's Tina Dixon. I am TinaDixon.com. Our illustrious program director here at
Can I throw some kisses at her?
Oh man, please. Go ahead. You know, as she would say, all right, boo-boo. Yeah, she's cool. She's the program director for all our networks, so we're all happy to be a part of what she's doing.
Right, wonderful.
Yes, she
is. Yeah, so now imagine, so what I thought, like, what if someone went after this thing called personal development or self-improvement the way that Michael went after the basketball thing?
I think somebody has done that. I think you got those names that you and Herbert were talking about, the dude you and Robert Grinder was talking about. Those are guys in the field of self-development that, to me, look like they wasn't taking no names.
So that's going to be my new thing now. When I bring on a guest that's into personal development, I need your starting five. Give me a starting five. Yeah, I love that, man. I love that, man, because Robert, he went like, he was like,
oh yeah, went right to it.
I got to add a sixth man.
Well, I like Herbert Harris. Go ahead.
Well, Robert picked 3 women. Herbert Harris didn't pick any.
Right, but Herbert Harris went old school on you. And he even, I liked what he said about Reverend Ike. So the beauty of it was his 5 was totally different from Robert's 5. Totally.
Yeah.
I don't think there was no overlap. He came with 5 different guys, 5 different people. And only when you mentioned about a woman, then he said, well, wait a minute. And he threw out a lady's name. You know, once you mentioned that Lisa, I think it was the person's name he threw out. Oh, no, another lady. He threw out another lady that went to the CEO something 42 times, whatever you was talking about. CEO room 42 times.
No, that's what I said. He picked another lady.
Oh, okay.
But he said he didn't really study her like he studied the other people. So then Lisa Nichols, who I went to the CEO space. I went 3 times. She went 42 times. But then look what she's at now. Look what she's doing.
Beautiful.
You know, she got in that book, Chicken Soup for the African American Soul, Chicken Soup for the African American Woman's Soul, and then it was just off to the races from there.
I like that.
You know, but my thing is this, like this guy Dan Kennedy, I mentioned to you about him before, but he talks about you could borrow, and I look at Chicken Soup for Soul and what they did. They sold 500 million books, Doug.
No, it sounds like you said they sold 500 million books. That's what it sounds like.
That's what I said.
Okay.
They sold 500 million books.
Just making sure. They
didn't even write the stories. Other people wrote the stories.
That's a lot of books.
The platform. They had the platform, and the idea was developed at that place where Lisa Nichols got her start.
Got it.
The CEO space thing. So I tell Herbert Harris the same thing. He could do the same thing with the 12 universal laws of success. He could take that and run. He could run with that. But you got to do it. But he could run with that. He could take that. There's no limits to where he could take that.
Wow.
So next, I'm gonna be interviewing him and his daughter together.
Okay.
So we're gonna work on that. We're gonna put that together.
Okay, I'm in. You know, I'll be happy to see that.
That should be fly, man. That should be fly.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah, she's quite talented.
Yeah, and I remember one day, me and him, we in the car. She's sitting in the back seat there, little girl. I don't know about 7, 8. Little, she was little.
Yeah. She wasn't 7, 8 when she came to the studio.
And she was wearing glasses. You know, like she's sitting in the back seat there. I'm like looking like, hey, how you know? And now she's a woman now. It's amazing, man.
Yeah, it is.
It's amazing how this thing happens, man. It's amazing. All right, brother.
All right,
so,
man.
I will talk to you soon, and man, thank you for doing all the good work that you do, man.
Yeah, you too, man.
You're a true blessing, man.
Same, you same,
yes,
man. I'm saying that, and I know Humberto think you were a blessing when he found out that he got his check back. That was pretty good.
Yeah,
I know how that felt too. Because one time I found the guy's phone, and I called on his phone, and called somebody on the phone and said, "Yo, I just found this guy's phone, and you know who he is?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "Okay, I don't know who he is, and I don't, and I'm not trying to find out who he is, but since you know him because your name is in his phone, call him and tell him." I said, "Don't call him on this number, but call him and tell him I got his phone."
Yeah.
And the dude called the phone back, and the guy met me on 44th in Lenox, and I gave him back the phone. And he said, "Man, damn, man, he has a real nice phone." I said, "I don't want nothing, man." I said, "I hope somebody would, if I lose something, they would give it back to me." And here you come.
Right.
So I know where you was coming. I know where your spirit was at, bro.
Yeah, I know, but I should have took that sandwich. I should have took that sandwich, man.
Yeah. You should have took a big fat sandwich out of that, man. But that's okay.
No, not sandwich. Sandwich.
Sandwich.
Yeah. Sandwich.
Well, some people say sandwich, but you're right.
All right, brother. Talk to you soon.
Yes, sir.
Go make yourself a sandwich.
Yes, sir. Thank you, man.
All right, now. All right,
peace. That was Rick Young, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Rick, Motivation Young, doing what he do. Back to